Tim Schaefer is one of the gaming industry's funny men. I think he's genuinely a funny geezer. He's also the man behind Psychonauts and was originally part of the LucasArts team that made the point-and-click classics like Escape from Monkey Island, Full Throttle, and The Grim Fandango.
Cool word.
But when working on Full Throttle, Tim pitched an idea to the LucasArts bigwigs to include a section of the game where players would enter the mind of the protagonist Ben on a wild, psychedelic mission. Sadly though, this interesting and quirky idea was rejected.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Well, it turns out he was fine. Double fine, in fact. Tim poached a few of his LucasArts colleagues and created his own gaming studio, Double Fine Productions, which went on to create Psychonauts. Unfortunately, it was a financial flop, selling less than 100,000 copies, but in my opinion, it was absolutely miles away from being a gaming flop, and this weirdly wonderful game was hit hard by a passionate cult following, and that cult took this diamond in the rough game on board, and no doubt acted accordingly when they heard the news of the sequel, Psychonauts 2. I wanted to talk about the original first though, just to set the premise for those that never got around to playing Psychonauts or those that had never have even heard of it. I imagine this will be quite a few peeps actually. Unbelievably, there's going to be a 16-year gap between Psychonauts and its upcoming sequel, which is nearly half of my life.
Why are you so old?
Psychonauts is set in a secret psychic summer camp called Whispering Rock, and the area the camp was built on was once struck by a meteorite made from a mysterious element known as Titanium, giving the local wildlife psychic abilities like bears with telekinetic claws.
Are you mental?
Eventually the area was populated by humans and were gradually driven insane. The government then utilised this land and created the Whispering Rock summer camp, where special agents that possess psychic abilities would train children with highly disturbing personalities to hone their psychic abilities to eventually become Psychonauts. Don't be fooled by its childlike appearance though, this game's got some seriously dark and very adult topics to be explored, but sticking with appearances, it's 2005 man, and at times it shows.
Damn, you're ugly.
Especially in the cutscenes, which have been way too compressed, leaving them fuzzier than my balls, which is damn near impossible, and some of the characters looking in dire need of some plastic surgery. Or maybe Tim was going for that botched job look? I don't know. Outside of the cutscenes though, and like most games with a cel shading art style, they usually age pretty well. It looks more than fine to me, but let's forget the visuals for now. We play as Raz, a talented young psychic who's ran away from his family who were forcing him into a lifetime of acrobatics at the circus. Where Psychonauts truly excels is the uniquely imaginative storytelling, the strangely unforgettable characters, and the familiar concepts of collectibles and platforming that have been brilliantly reconceptualized into the psychological elements of the human mind. The core of the game takes place in the Whispering Rock camp, but the intrigue lies within the amazingly crafted levels inside the minds of the vastly diverse cast of characters that Raz will meet on his journey. Within each of the characters' minds, Raz must uncover its mysteries that are all physical metaphors for us to find and collect, such as mental cobwebs, collecting the brightly coloured figments of imagination, finding the key to open up the hidden emotional, actual baggage, and if you want to uncover the often dark and twisted backstories to each of the characters, Raz must find and unlock these secrets by finding an actual vault. Its gaming originality knows no bounds.
This is a fucking work of art.
The settings obviously played a huge role and were so thematically varied from character to character, navigating the mind of the drill sergeant type character, Coach Oleander, which is set in a treacherous battlefield. Mila Vadello is seemingly attached to the 60s and her mind is staged in a stylish retro disco, and I mean I dare you to play this without getting your jam on. There's actually a horrifically dark backstory to her mind, but I won't spoil it for you guys. Then, infamously, there's the Milkman Conspiracy level.
I am the milkman. My milk is delicious.
where we enter the insane mind of a paranoid asylum guardsman called Boyd Cooper. Within Boyd's mind, we must traverse a warped suburban neighbourhood with trash cans that follow you, cameras popping out of bushes, while collecting disguises to pass these agents that are investigating the mystery within Boyd's mind. Honestly, I was so tempted to go all in with an in-depth explanation about this level, but I want to keep spoilers down to a minimum for those who have missed out on the original and fancy giving it a whirl. There's a very small amount of RPG seasoning sprinkled onto the meat of this game, with upgradable health, psychic powers, dialogue choices that don't actually have any varying consequences, but they're there. We collect ancient arrowheads that'll catch the eye with their pink dazzling glow throughout the world. We can visit the camp store to spend those arrowheads to unlock different consumables and tools such as the dowsing rod, which tracks deeper clusters of arrowheads for Raz to mine. There's the cobweb duster, which will grant us the ability to extract those mental cobwebs from a character's mind, and these can be turned into psi cards, and these can be turned into psychic upgrades for your powers. See, it all connects. Now, as we progress, we unlock merit badges, which are effectively the game's psychic skills, which Raz can wear proudly after he earns powers such as his telekinesis badge, his levitation badge, his pyrokinesis badge,
and his advanced swearing badge.
Shit off, you hairy dog's cock.
Respect.
Modern platformers such as It Takes Two, for example, have been highly praised for the variety in their gameplay, and rightly so, but this is a 2005 game that's packed with platforming variety, probably not equaling It Takes Two, but there's still a wide variety of weapon techniques to master, racing, and plenty of other ways to traverse the levels. The boss battles have a wide variety to them too, not only in how they attack, but the weird ways in which we defeat them through some experimentational trial and error methods. I think Tim Schaefer is far from receiving the recognition he deserves. Psychonauts is brimming with unique ideas and hilariously self-aware writing, and Tim Schaefer is
a cruel, evil, brilliant, savant, idiot genius.
Now let's get psyched for Psychonauts 2 and look at some of the big differences we've seen so far. The combat, adaptation to each fight is higher on the agenda this time. It's faster paced, with us being able to dodge enemy attacks, and each psychic power will have more of an effect depending on the enemy type. Some of the powers in the original were only useful in a very specific section of the game, and Schaefer has ensured that those powers available to the players will be useful throughout the journey in Psychonauts 2, instead of just having all these pointless powers at our fingertips without a clue what to do with them. Players will also be given a little more choice in what skills to upgrade with intern credits, whereas in the original each rank was rewarded with a predetermined upgrade to a power. Another big improvement is the traversal side of things, with the original feeling a little bit too floaty at times. Psychonauts 2 has been refined to give us that highly pleasurable, satisfactory sensation of jumping from one platform that's been perfectly positioned, the correct distance away from another platform, and we actually have the ability to jump and land on that platform in question.
Nice.
Visually, I mean, look for yourself, it's clearly received some 2021 next-gen sexiness. It looks great. One thing I was concerned about was I thought at times that the original Psychonauts characters' mental illnesses were simplified down to a level that can be expressed through a 15 to 20 hour long game, and nobody gave a single shit about mental illness back in 2005. It still shows a sympathetic attitude towards the character's mental illness, giving us an insight into the thought process that might be completely foreign to some, but very relatable to others, and it clearly does this in a genuinely funny way. In 2021, a game about involving the human mind might cause a bit of a stir. The best part about the original was its uncensored and the light-hearted tone towards the varying mental diseases we can all suffer from. It's what made the story such an intriguing and memorable one. I hope the cancel culture and the corporate HR departments don't censor this game beyond recognition compared to its original, because I'd hate to be left with a simple platformer and a mediocre plotline. My hopes remain high though, because naturally talented and comedic writers can always find a way. Double Fine have actually included a mental health awareness message with help and advice, so if you're already or starting to feel down when playing, you don't have to just rub some dirt on your brain and walk it off. There's a link where you can get some information on how to get some professional help. I'll leave that link below just in case. I am seriously psyched for Psychonauts 2, and considering how poorly marketed the game was in 2005, I'm still surprised this isn't getting that much attention, certainly not as much as it should be. With the industry being way bigger, with more players than 2005 could have even imagined, I'm hoping more players jump into this one, mind first, and there's no excuse for Game Pass Ultimate owners because it'll be launched on there come its release date, the 25th of August 2021. It's also coming to PS4, so don't worry, Sony peeps. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Get in the comments to tell us what you predict for Psychonauts 2. Did you play the original? And if you didn't, I highly recommend giving it a whirl if you can. See you in the next one. Peace out.